where will we get the money to pay rent?" Hacham Abraham asked his wife. "Our landlord told me that if I do not give him 2 gold coins by the end of the week, he will throw us out of this apartment." "Is there any way I can help?" asked his wife. "Maybe there is something that I own that we can sell." "Do not worry, my dear wife," said Hacham Abraham. "Let's wait and see. If we fully trust in Hashem, he will surely help us." Late that night there was a loud pounding on the door. "Who could that be?" Hacham Abraham asked his wife. Hacham Abraham opened the door. It was their friend and neighbor, Rav Nisim Nahum. Rav Nisim Nahum was both a Kabbalist and a businessman. He was wealthy and supported many yeshivot. Out of breath, he said, "Take these 2 gold coins right away." He quickly placed them into Hacham Abraham's hand. "I must go home now, but I will explain everything tomorrow." The next morning, after prayers, Rav Nisim Nahum sat down with Hacham Abraham and told him the story. "I was on a boat yesterday, returning home from a trip. Suddenly, a violent storm broke out. The ship was tossed about by the giant waves. I thought we would turn over and sink. Even the captain thought that this was the end of us all." Hacham Abraham stared at Rav Nisim Nahum in shock. "I prayed with all my might to Hashem. I do not know why, but I told Hashem that if he saves my life from this storm, I will give 2 gold coins to Hacham Abraham as soon as I return, even before I get home." Just then, the storm calmed down, and we sailed home safely. I immediately ran to your house in the middle of the night, before anything else, and brought you the 2 gold coins. "That was the exact amount of money that I needed to pay my landlord," exclaimed Hacham Abraham. "Hashem's miracle for you was his miracle for me also." Rav Nisim Nahum smiled and said, "I have only one favor to ask of you, my friend. The next time you need money, please just come to me and ask for it, instead of bringing a storm. It will make my life so much more pleasant." When Hacham Abraham Adis grew older, he moved from Aram Soba to the old city of Jerusalem. He lived in a small apartment across the street from Miskav Ladach Hospital. Hacham Abraham would diligently study Torah all day. For breakfast, he would have only a cup of coffee and a roll. For lunch, he would have a yogurt. And for supper, he would have a bit of rice and soup. He explained to his family why he ate so little. "I always wanted to understand how the Baal Shem Tov achieved such a high level of spirituality. One night, the Baal Shem Tov came to me in a dream. He explained that man should not spoil himself by eating big fancy meals. Therefore, I eat only what I need." Hacham Ezra, Hacham Abraham's son, lived next door to his father with his entire family. Hacham Ezra had an unmarried daughter, Shulamit. She personally took care of her grandfather, Hacham Abraham, every day. One evening, Shulamit noticed 2 guests entering her grandfather's apartment. "These men look like great Torah scholars," she whispered to her mother. "I will bring each of them a cup of hot tea." Shulamit brought 3 cups of tea on a tray to her grandfather's house. She carefully opened the door to his apartment. Her eyes opened wide. She could not believe what she saw. "How could this be?" she exclaimed in wonder. There was only one person sitting in the room, her grandfather. 3 open Sepharim were on the table, one in front of him and one in front of each of the other 2 chairs. He too was surprised by his granddaughter's presence. "Thank you for the tea, even though I did not want you to bring it now. Now please, shut the door." She closed the door and ran back to her own house. "Mother, you will not believe what I just saw," she said. "I saw 2 men enter grandfather's house. I am sure that nobody left. Then, when I opened his door, only grandfather was there, and there were 3 open Sepharim on the table." What had actually happened became very clear. Her holy grandfather, Hacham Abraham, was learning together with 2 heavenly guests. Because of his humility, it was important to him that no one find out about this. He was upset that his secret had finally been discovered. "Here is a list of groceries I need you to get from the store," Chacham Yehuda's wife said, as she handed her husband the list. "Pesach will soon be here, and I need all these items. Here's an envelope with money to pay the storekeeper. He will take care of everything and have the food delivered to our house." "I am happy to help," replied Chacham Yehuda. "I will go to the grocery on my way to the Beit Midrash." It seemed that he did everything on his way to the Beit Midrash. Late that evening, Chacham Yehuda returned home. "I don't understand it," exclaimed his wife. "The food that you ordered today did not arrive. The storekeeper always delivers orders right away. What could have happened?" "Do not worry, my dear wife," he smiled. "No doubt, if it did not come today, it will come tomorrow." In the morning, as Chacham Yehuda was about to leave the house, his wife asked, "Please check with the grocer and make sure he delivers the food today." "Do not worry, my dear wife," he said. "I will do it on my way to the Beit Midrash." That evening, Chacham Yehuda again returned home. "I don't understand it," exclaimed his wife. "The food still has not arrived. The storekeeper is never this late making deliveries to our house. By the way, an important-looking letter arrived for you today." The Chacham took the letter and opened it. It was from his relatives in the United States. He opened the envelope and saw it contained a large amount of money. "I told you the money would come," he said to his wife. "Tomorrow morning, on my way to the Beit Midrash, I will give it to the grocer and order all the food." "Order the food? But I already gave you money for the food," said his wife. "I do not understand." "I was on my way to the Beit Midrash," he explained, "and I saw a poor man crying in the street. He told me he had no money for food for Pesach. He could not return home and face his hungry family. I saw how sad he was, so I gave him our money. I was sure that just as I helped him, Hashem would help us." Chacham Yehuda smiled at his wife. Hashem always provides everyone with what they need. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.